In this video, I'm going to talk about saying no to what you want in favor of what you want the most. In short, I'm going to talk about what discipline is so we can stop lying to ourselves and make more real and honest choices that we can be proud of. Discipline is a simple concept, but it's not easy. It's the conscious dismissal of all the things you might want in favor of the one focused thing you want the most. You might like a lot of things, but what do you love the most? It's the same concept of if you could pick one thing to save from your burning home, what would you take? This is the same idea. What would you choose if you had one choice? Today, people's lack of discipline can come through the back door of Oprah-styled spirituality. And what I mean by that is the notion that we should experience everything in life, give everything a shot, not be too rigid, don't miss out on anything. Experience it all, man. This is a lie. This is an excuse to be lazy and not focused on anything that you want. It feels comfortable to placate ourselves by saying that, rich people aren't happy, or, that bodybuilder, he may look great, but what is he missing out on in life? He can't eat those donuts, but you can't deny what parts of a disciplined person's life you admire if you're honest with yourself. Look, I've been there too, and I still struggle with it sometimes, where you want to be fair as a person and then you conflate that with being fair with everything, with your time, saying yes to everything. But if you're never saying yes to the most important things to you, very few of us put something in first place to the exclusion of everything else. And I'm not saying be sociopathic about it. I'm saying that unless there's a very good damn reason to hit pause on your priority for that moment, say you've made a priority that I wake up at this time in the morning and I don't look at social media until noon. I work on what I need to work on, or you go to the gym, or whatever it might be. There's no exceptions on how you feel. There's no lazy, convenient exceptions, and there's no procrastination. You set the routine and you do it, and you actually write down what the only permissible exceptions are, the realistic, objective ones that we would say, well, okay, I broke my priority because of this, but anyone would have, a loved one calls you up and they need you, their car's broken down, or there's an emergency in your life. Fine. But if you set the habits and times in place and you prioritize these things to the exclusion of everything and everyone else, and it's the same with love. You choose a person over everyone else. You limit your choices and the clarity of life in that direction and what you'll get from a relationship because you choose to focus on that. You're not diluting your focus amongst a lot of women like this hookup culture today. And people say they're having fun, but they're not actually choosing anything. You're experiencing a whole lot of nothing, philosophically telling yourself, I'm experiencing life, man, I'm free, but you're also free to really not achieve anything exceptional that you might have the ability to achieve. Again, if we're honest with ourselves, we are lying to ourselves when we see a rich millionaire who obviously excluded a lot of having fun in life for the stubborn, determined focus to get what he wanted to get and achieve what he wanted to achieve and get the life he wanted. Almost all of us would want what he worked for. But we're too lazy to discipline ourselves. And I'm tired of being sympathetic to people's feelings of, but that's unfair because of yada, yada, yada. Look, I understand all legitimate excuses duly noted, but 99% of the excuses why people couldn't achieve what they wanted to was because they didn't prioritize what was most important to the exclusion of all else. If you want to think of it another way, don't cheat on what or who you love. If you keep cheating on everything that you say is important or everyone, you're always going to return back to the starting block of zero all the time and anticipating it'll work out again this time with exactly the same strategy, which it won't. You're relying on luck. You're relying on life to give you a break, rather than treating it as a skill and saying no to everything that's not in first priority without a damn good reason. Like if you consciously set time to do a workout, that's all that matters. You get the workout done in that time. You go for a run. If you're dating, you date intentionally. You exclude all other women. You're not just seeing where it goes all the time. Man, the amount of years I wasted thinking that I was being free and the universe would give me a relationship if I was just open to everything is just BS. You need to intentionally start choosing things that matter to you. Like what kind of woman works in your world. And no matter how hot and attractive they are, you're not going to deal with those other women anymore. They're tasty McDonald's, but they're not the nutrition you've been craving for years. Take care of your health, guys. And I'm talking figuratively, in case it went over your heads. Instead of this FOMO of thinking you're going to miss out because you're choosing one thing and excluding everything else. That's how you can get the most out of the thing you choose or the most out of the person you choose, rather than dipping your toe in a million different directions, not taking anything seriously, and then hoping that the gods will throw you a lottery win. Be honest about your priorities, gentlemen. Stop trying to accommodate everything and everyone with the excuse that you're being balanced and open to the universe and being fair, man, and telling yourself, well, how will I know if I'm not open to everything? I might miss out on that one opportunity. Well, yeah. Be honest about your priorities, gentlemen. If you choose the donut over the healthy meal, stop with the lexical ambiguity. And someone like me can be fairly clever to myself and talk myself into spiritual balance and having to experience a donut here and there, and that's what balance is all about. No, the simple fact is, health food is not the priority at that time. The donut is. That's why I chose it. You can make all the excuses about emotions and my childhood and I can't say no to this and blah, blah, blah. But the simplest modes of calibrating, that emotion choice dichotomy that a lot of us struggle with is that make the phrase simple. You didn't choose the healthy meal because it wasn't a priority. That's it. End of story. Try that with everything else in your life. Make the choice, gentlemen, and don't lie to yourself. Prioritize what you want and love the most over what you want. And just push. I know it's not easy, just push to prioritize what you want the most until that habit becomes easier and easier. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about your struggles and victories with discipline. I'd like to know what insights you've come up with and that finally allowed you to break through and leave a lot of the old bad habits of you behind. I'll catch you in the next video. Later, guys. Bye. Second coffee for the day.